This is March here in Connecticut. I haven't seen snow like this in years. This is the first time in, I gotta bet, 20 years that I've seen this much snow here in March. A lot of snow fell in Connecticut this year, in December and January. Not a whole lot in February, a couple light dustings, but all this fell really in just a couple weeks time, and it's still here. Of course, there's a lot less of it. There was probably almost 4 foot of snow in this area after it first fell, and of course a lot of it is settled down and melted away, and there's still probably about 1.5 foot snow in most of the areas where it's shaded, and we're starting to see a bit of bare ground where it typically gets a lot of sun. Anyway, one of my favorite spots here in Connecticut, and I'm going to take a hike up across that mountain. I'm just on the Blue Trail now, and I'm going to head down the end of the Blue Trail back to the Appalachian Trail and head uphill. So we'll see you in a bit. This is a section of trail I always find really interesting in the winter time. It's full of mountain laurel, and it's really the only thing green this time of year here, but it is a little odd as you hike through it. You get up around the corner, it's on both sides of the trail, and you know, it's a little odd to have all this greenery this time of year. Anyway, it's kind of pretty though. This is a coyote kill site of a deer. This area here I discovered over a month ago, but there looks like there's been some new activity here. There's the top jawbone right there of the deer, and the carcass has been dragged quite a way from where it originally was uphill from here. Actually, I came by here at 2 different times, a week apart, and it's been dragged quite a distance from where it originally was, and it looks like it's been chewed on even more. There's a leg bone down there in the snow, and some tracks running that way. I don't quite, they almost look, those look human. Evidently some other hikers have been up here and probably seen this as well. But so here we go uphill again. I don't have a great deal of time today, so I'm going to climb to the top of this peak, which is probably another quarter mile or so, and then a little bit further, and then maybe have some lunch and turn around. I wanted to get up here for the weekend and do an overnight, but we're expecting some rain, maybe quite heavy. You know, the temperature's in their 40s. It's not really worth it. You know, you come up and you can't really move around and stay dry, and you certainly don't want to be wet with the temperatures in the 40s. And that's and you're leaving yourself open for, you know, hypothermia. And so I'd just rather sit the weekend out and wait for either a colder weekend, or I'll take a warm one without the rain, and then we can come up and hike in a bit and camp and explore, do a little bushwhacking. I love bushwhacking this time of year. There's without all the growth, and so it's easy to travel through the woods. You come back up here in June, and this whole area will be so thick that you won't be able to see, you know, just a few feet off the trail. It'll, you know, it'll be about the extent of your visual, at least in this area here. It opens up a little bit on top, but and this gets real thick with vegetation, green and dense, and so exploring this time of year is much easier, and you see things that you might ordinarily miss in the summertime, even when you're just a few feet away from it. Or here I could hike in because I can see, even this area I can see, you know, 20 or 30 yards through the bush. I can see things that that might be worth taking a closer look at. And anyway, so you can see how far I can see in these areas here. One interesting note here is we're only up a couple thousand feet here. I think it's about 2,100 feet, and you can see that the trees, for the most part, are getting smaller as we get higher up in the mountain. And you see that more up ahead as we get to, this is not the highest point. It goes higher, and when you get up into that, the highest points, you see the trees really shrink down. Now this little bit of elevation change makes a big difference in how large the trees are, just from where I was 45 minutes ago. Okay, I'm at the top of my turnaround point. The trail goes up just a bit, maybe another 50 or 60 feet higher than where I'm standing now, and then it goes down steeply for a few hundred feet, crosses to a ravine, crosses a good-sized brook, trout brook, and then back up steeply to the, and I mean steeply, it's a good climb to the top of the next peak. And that's probably another mile or so ahead of me. I'm not going to do that today, I just don't have the time. But this is kind of a panoramic view of where I am. I was here in June at about this spot, and the vegetation, this was all real thick with growth, and you could, this is the trail ahead of me. Now you can see, you know, great distances on either side of the trail, but when this is all grown in, you barely see anything right or left at your feet in the trail. And I was trudging along about here, and a large rat snake, about 6 foot long, crossed over the toes of my hiking boot in one quick, fast shot, and I nearly fainted here on the trail. He was a good-sized snake, but surprised me. He was, you know, I didn't see him as I was walking through, and he literally crossed right over the toes of my hiking boots, and stopped about 3/4 of the way across. So I had 25% of this tail end of the snake still on top of my feet, as he was probing forward for whatever he was looking for. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you guys, and I'm on my way back down. By the way, for those of you that don't know, the black rat snake is a non-poisonous species. They do get quite large. We have two snakes that are very similar in this area, the black rat snake and the eastern racer. The one that is most commonly found up here is the rat snake, and they do get quite large, six foot. I've seen them bigger, you know, pretty good girth on them, and they can be kind of spooky. You sit trailside, coiled up, and kind of just watch as you walk by, and they do watch you. It's amazing. I'll get some video this year. I even have some stock footage probably somewhere. But there are quite a few very large snakes that inhabit this area. We have the black rat snake, which I mentioned, and we have the timber rattler, which is endangered in Connecticut, but they're fairly common in this area. And every once in a while somebody will shoot some great video of that snake here. They're shy and very non-aggressive. Often if you come upon one, you get very close without any fear of it striking. You definitely want to use caution. I mean, it is a venomous snake, and if it bit you, you would be in trouble. But you almost virtually have to stand on top of them to get them to bite. And they're usually pretty quick to warn you at a pretty good distance too as they're coming along. And that goes for the black snake as well. It's the first time I'd ever had one that close. I think we both surprised each other. So it's not impossible, but uncommon to have that kind of close encounter. Usually on the trail, they'll feel you or see you coming, and they'll move off the trail before you get to them. Anyway, I thought I'd share that little bit of tidbit information as I was coming down the trail. This is a really beautiful section. This is coming back out. I came in this way. That's going back out. That's looking down onto the brook that I crossed earlier. That's one big pine tree. And there's quite a few of these around here. They're a couple 100 feet tall, 100 feet tall. They're large trees. A lot of old growth forest in this area. It's a camping shelter back over that way.